Hey guys, how's it going? It's Mr. Gossip here. We're going to be talking about functions. So, given these two examples, let's start at number 1. And so you're given 3, 4, and 5 on the left side. That is your input. So I'm going to put input. And this is your output. Okay, so for every input, there has to be exactly one output. So for 3, the output is 0. For 4, the output is 6. And for 5, the output is 0. So in this one, all of your x's or all your inputs are all different. So you can automatically go ahead and say that this is going to be a function because all of these are different. However, they all share, well, the 3 and the 5, they share the 0, and that's okay. It's okay that you have the same output, but you can't have an input give out 2 outputs. So this one is a function. Okay, so this one is a function. Now let's look at this one. So you have 8, 7, and 5. The 8 is mapped to -2. The 7 is mapped to 4. And then the 5, when you plug it in, it gives you -2 and 3. So this is not a function because for an input, you have 2 outputs. And the definition of a function is for every input, you have exactly 1 output. So there's 2 outputs here. So this would be not a function. Now you know more.
Hey, how are you? Today we're going to continue what Mr. Gossam talked about on seeing if something is a function or not, but we're going to look at it from tables here. So again, the same thing, the definition of a function is that every input has only one output. So I like to think about it as the input is kind of like the question. That's what we're placing into the function, into the equation, into whatever we're doing. And if you place a number in, you can only get one output for that number. You can't get multiple. So on this one, whenever we put -2 into the function, we get an output of 3. When we put in 0, we get 6. When we put in 2, we get 7 as our output. And if we put 0 in, we get 12. Now, this would not be a function because if I put in 0, I could get 6, or I might get 12 as my output. So since I have a single input with 2 different possible outputs, this is not a function, or as we like to call it, a non-function. And then sometimes I like to just say, let's just look at our inputs, look at our x column, our x values. If an x value repeats, then chances are it's not going to be a function. You probably want to double check and just make sure that they have different outputs, but the input is really what we care about. To where in this example, if we look at our inputs, if we place 2, we get 7, 3, we get 7, 4, we get 8, and 6, we get 9. This would be a function because every input has its own output. It does not matter that 2 and 3 both share 7 as an output because 2 only has one answer and 3 only has one answer. So as long as my inputs are all different, then it is still a function, and now you know more.
Hey guys, it's Miss Garner. We are still deciding whether it is a function or non-function. In this case, we're going to be looking at graphs. So our first example here, we see a set of points. There's 2 ways you can really do this. The first is you can still look at your vertical line test, which is drawing a vertical line throughout your graph to see if it hits more than one point. So for instance, if I draw a vertical line right on the axis, it only hits 1 point. But if I draw a vertical line here at x equals 2, it's hitting 2 separate points. So in this case, it is not a function because it hits 2 separate points. Another way you can do this is, if you're having a hard time visualizing that, actually connect your graph to make a line. And once again, you can do your vertical line test to see if your line goes through more than 1 point in your graph. In this case, we have a little stretch here that we have a vertical line. If you draw a vertical line over top another vertical line, they're touching at all those points along there. Our second example here, we're just going to draw a vertical line to see if it touches. I'm going to draw several vertical lines throughout my graph. In this case, it touches 1 time. I'll draw another one here, touches 1 time, and I'll draw another one over here, and it touches one time. So as long as every possible vertical line that you draw only touches one time, it is a function. So number 2 is a function. And then number 3, we're just going to do the same thing with our vertical line test. Draw a line straight up and down. If I draw my line right here, I already know that it's crossing 1, 2, 3 times. It's crossing more than once, so that means it is not a function. So once again, vertical line test, you need every single vertical line to touch only once for it to be a function. And now you know more.